and welcome back to the Gay Racing Podcast. It is our first bonus episode, and I say hour, but Alex is not here. I'm riding solo today. Oh no. He let me have the reins of the Gay Racing Podcast. I'm riding alone. Who knows what's going to happen? So our first bonus content ever, but our first bonus content of 2024, I wanted to make a prediction of the NASCAR drivers and teams for 2024. But I see some people, they do stuff like they'll predict the playoffs. Like I know my good friend Dylan McCollum on Twitter, he did like, this top tier right here is the championship for, the next tier is like the guys who get eliminated in the round of 8. And that's really cool. I just think it's more interesting to do a tier list like this. And I'm going to explain how I'm going to do it. So each tier, so if you don't know what tier lists are, they come from like fighting video games where each tier is kind of a skill level. So the top tier are the best characters in the fighting game. Here it would be the best drivers in NASCAR. And I might order them. I'm not sure if I'm going to order them yet. Probably not. Because again, I'm just focused on, if you qualify in this category here at the top, you get in there, blah, blah, blah. All right. So if, Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch are on the same tier, they are relatively the same kind of skill of drivers. But I don't think I'm going to have them on the same tier. So, spoiler alert. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going for. So the 5 kind of tiers, and the higher up you are, the better you are. At the top tier is the championship contenders. These are the guys that any year can win the championship. We have in the second tier below that is guys who can win multiple races a year, 3 races or so. And they can, make a deep playoff run. Because if you can win that many races, you can make a deep playoff run, in my opinion. And then there's the guys that run pretty well. They might win a race or two. They make the playoffs on points. That's this middle tier. The tier below this are guys that aren't going to make the playoffs unless they win a wild card race. But they have a very good chance to win a wild card race, in my opinion. Because they just have a history of doing so. And then the bottom tier, of course, is just everyone else. The guys that just aren't going to win if you just look at it. They've never shown that they can, or lately they haven't shown that they're going to be able to win. And it's unlikely they're going to make the playoffs. They probably can't even, they haven't been showing that they can win Daytona or Talladega or anything like that, right? So that's kind of where I'm going with this. So I just think this is more interesting to kind of rank the drivers like this, to see exactly kind of where their skill is. Some years, and hey, if I did this 5 years ago, there might be a lot of guys kind of more in the middle and fewer guys up at the top. I think right now the competition is very high with the next gen era, with the more spec cars, I guess. 2 more things before we get started. I'm looking at this. Most tier lists are based on kind of theory and evidence. So it's like, in a fighting game, the character has to win tournaments to get put really high on the list, right? But you can kind of still put a little bit of theory in there. Like, well, this character could be really good, if someone pushed them. You can kind of do the same with these NASCAR drivers, right? Like these NASCAR drivers, obviously there's evidence. What have they done, right? Especially, in the last few years, what have they actually been able to do? So, for example, Ryan Blaney just won the championship. I feel like you kind of have to put him as champion contender, right? But you can also put a little bit of theory. Like, let's say Denny Hamlin, who hasn't won a championship, but he has been, winning so many races. He's constantly making deep playoff runs. He's made so many championship races and had so many close kind of races in the championship race, like 2019 at Homestead. It's hard to not put him in the championship contender, or even though, again, you could argue put him right here, right? But right now, I'm gonna put Denny here, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And as I judge these drivers, I'm also just judging their whole team. Like, I'm judging the 12 team, I'm judging the 11 team. While it is mostly, or a lot of it is the driver, there's still, I'm still kind of considering the crew chief and the way the team and the organization is performing as well. But yeah, Blaney and Team Penske, they got that dog in them. I mean, They did a fantastic job of turning it up when it was the right time. They convincingly won last year's championship, in my opinion, with their performance in the last 6 weeks. So nothing really to say there. Let's try to do number order. So let's start with Ross Chastain. Now Chastain is a really interesting case. So he's made the Final Four. I would put him here because I think Chastain, especially going into 2024, and this is kind of where some theory comes in, I think he's finally going to figure out exactly what he needs to do. He's going to strike a good balance. I mean, we just saw him beefing with Tyler Reddick at the Clash. I think he's going to go back on his, don't give a crap tour and hopefully win some more races, make a deep playoff run. It's a little, obviously there's no evidence he can kind of contend or win the championship though. I just think, if I put him in this tier, like a deep playoff run to me is round of 8 or championship 4, right? But just because you make the championship 4 doesn't mean that I think you can win the championship, and I'll get back to that later with Christopher Bell. Spoiler alert. But number 2, Austin Cindric. Thing with Cindric though, oh god, he has not been Penske was kind of off last year in general. He's in one of these 2 tiers. He's either making the playoffs on points if he has a really good year, but most likely he's gonna have to win a wild card race, which I mean he can. I mean he's won the Daytona 500. Penske is amazing at super speedways. Austin Cindric has very good skill at road courses. Although how did he do last year at road courses? I don't know. I mean, he's got a Penske car. He's proven he can win races. Has he? Has he proven though? I don't know. It's low-key. I low-key want to put him here. Like last year, he's here. There is no week where I'm like, yeah, he can win. So, but I'm going to put him. He can win a wild card race. Number 3, Austin Dillon. He's in the same boat. I mean, we've seen Austin Dillon win way too many races. A lot of super speedway wins. Or is it just only 2? 2 Daytona wins? Has he won Talladega? He's gotten close to winning Talladega. I mean, Austin Dillon, he can win a race, right? But with RCR, how they were, especially with the questionable, like how is Chevy going to perform with, Ford and Toyota having new cars, I can't put him as making the playoffs on points. I'm leaving him here. That's where the evidence is. That's where, heck, has he ever made the playoffs on points? I think every time he's made the playoffs, it's because he won. So yeah, that's the tier he belongs in. Number 4, Josh Berry. Josh Berry, I default him to unlikely to win because SHR sucks. Kevin Harvick couldn't even win with them last year. Even though he got kind of close, there were also a lot of weeks where they weren't close at all. Josh Berry, he's a rookie. Rookies don't normally win in their first years unless they're setting the world on fire with a good team. Ty Gibbs couldn't even win last year. I want to put Josh Berry and can win a wild card race so bad because I know he's a GOAT at Martinsville, but there's no, I'd be a fool to put him there, I feel like. So I don't think I can. I don't think I can do that. And as I kind of keep going, I feel like I might move drivers if I change my mind like later about them. Like there's some I'm very, just thinking about it now, I'm not really sure where to put them. Kyle Larson though, I know where to put you. Championship contender. I mean, 2021 dominating fashion. 2022 was a bit of an off year. Last year though, again, convincingly almost won the championship, right? Second place. I think you put that 5 team up there, contends for so many race wins, top of the field. Unless like Toyotas are hitting it on a day, it's always the 5 car at the front, I feel like. So I got the 5 up there, and again, evidence, right? Most of the guys in this championship contender have won championships, right? Have won championships. Denny being an exception because he's gotten close so many times, kind of like a Carl Edwards. Number 6. Speaking of someone who's won championships before, Brad Keselowski. But do I put him in the championship contender? Absolutely not. Now, that 6 car, the RFK in general, I think they did some really cool stuff last year, right? Last year he made the playoffs on points, so this is at least where he goes, right? So, on evidence, this is where Keselowski is, okay? Theory-wise, I kind of want to bump him up here, right? Theory-wise, but it's hard to say that. Brad's not getting any younger. He got close to winning races. He was really fast in the playoffs. Like, in the round of 8, he was contending for... Didn't he almost win... He was running up front at Homestead in Vegas, right? That's why I kind of also want to put him here, because he could also maybe not win a lot of races, but make a really deep playoff run too. It's like really hard to put him. I don't know which tier to put him in, because on evidence he's here. In theory, I think he can jump up to here. I think for now I'll default on evidence. I'll just put him here for now, and I'll come back. I'll revisit him in a bit. Corey LaJoie is someone I really don't know about, because again, let's start with evidence. Evidence. I mean, he's never won. How can I put he can win a wildcard race when he's never won? And yeah, he's gotten close, but I don't know if he's really gotten close that many times besides that one Atlanta race. Am I wrong? I mean, has he done other stuff? I mean, he's only got, and I'm not trying to be a Corey LaJoie hater, he's only got 3 top 10s in the last 12 super speedway races. Like, unlikely to win for me. I wouldn't be necessarily too surprised, but I just can't pencil him in as can win a wild card race, right? That doesn't seem fair. Kyle Busch. I made a bold prediction on, I think it was Taylor Kitchen's show, Above the Yellow Line, and as well as on our podcast at the end of last year, that I think Kyle Busch is going to start really declining. I mean, he won 3 races last year, so automatically. Well, that's weird, because Kyle Busch won multiple races, but he didn't make a deep playoff run, right? So it's like, he was one of the rare cases where that happened. So it's weird. Like, what tier do I put him in? And is he going to make the playoffs on points? I mean, evidence-wise, I think that's kind of where you put him, but he is Kyle Busch. He showed up at the Clash, and that's the only thing that's happened so far this year, and he had a really good run. And he's Kyle Busch. So I'll keep him. I think, because legit, Kyle Busch is so hard to judge, because it depends on if he really is declining, and if he is declining, how much is he declining, right? If at all. So I'm just going to put him at makes playoffs on points. I don't see him making a deep playoff run for some reason. And I mean, since Kyle Busch won in 2019, has he even made it past the round of 12? I don't think he has. And winning multiple races, I mean, I guess I technically could put him up here, but I don't know. I'll have to revisit this one. I'm going to leave him makes playoffs on points. So who's next? The 9 of Chase Elliott. So Chase Elliott's a weird one, because 2023, I think, is something that you can legit just write off for him. Like, just whatever. To where then he's at least making a deep playoff run this year, right? Especially if everything's kind of, going how it should. Hendrick's been fast. Championship contender. I mean, he won the 2020 championship. He was in the Final Four 2021. He was in the Final Four 2022, right? I mean, heck, you kind of have to put him in championship contender, I feel like. And even though at the end of 2022, he was that team was kind of lacking a little bit, I think it's hard to deny that 9 team has a lot of potential, and that they have a lot of potential to come back this year and be back in that Final Four, right? It's hard to ignore that. And I mean, again, 3 straight years in the Final Four, just ending after, the anomaly, I can't say that word. The anomaly, the exception that last year was, right? The exception that last year was for that 9 team. I think looking past that, I mean, the stats show the 9 team championship four will win multiple races, championship contender. And I'm not saying that all 4, everyone that's up here can be a champion or that will be a championship contender. It's just very likely that they will be. That's all I'm saying. Noah Gragson, unlikely to win. He sucks. And I don't even mean that because I hate him. He just sucks. Like, it's not even, to be honest, it's not even that Noah Gragson sucks. It's just Stewart-Haas Racing sucks. Like, if Noah Gragson was in a JGR car, I'm looking at him like, okay, he might win. I'd probably move him up to wins a wild card race or something. I don't know. But no, that's where I got him. I already ranked Hamlin and Blaney. Chase Briscoe's next, and this is a weird one. Briscoe, he's won races. He's won once at Phoenix, right? He's gotten close to other wins. I don't know. Briscoe, he's kind of like Cindric, where yes, he's won before, but last year I am so not convinced that 14 team is capable of anything. Honestly, all of Stewart-Haas, I'm just like, I'm not convinced they can do anything. And Martinsville's their like saving grace, and that, again, that's why, like, with Josh Berry, I'm like, I almost want to put him up. Chase Briscoe, Because the weird thing about Chase Briscoe is, isn't he the most experienced driver on this team, too? Like, isn't he like basically the mascot of SHR right now? I don't know. Part of me, if any SHR driver is going to make it to can win a wildcard race, I feel like I could put him. I could maybe put Priest in there, but I feel like if I put Priest in there, I have to put Barry. But Barry's a rookie, and it's... Well, that's the thing about... I guess that's the thing about Barry. He's a rookie. Priest isn't a rookie. That's the difference between them. So I guess I could make that argument. I'll put Briscoe in can win a wildcard race, because I could see him winning Martinsville. Or something like that. Or like Phoenix again or something. The 16 is not a full-time driver this year. If it was AJ Allmendinger, I would just put can win a wildcard race, because he literally won a road course last year, even though it didn't get him into the playoffs. However, Justin Haley is... Wait, not in the 15 car. The 15 car is also not full-time, so never mind. Who drove it in the Clash? Was it even in the Clash? I don't think it was in the Clash. Never mind. Who's next? Chris Buescher, right? Well, Chris Buescher at least makes the playoffs on points, and I would say Chris Buescher is like literally at the line of making a deep playoff run in 2023, because I think technically, yes, he did make a deep playoff run because he made it to the round of 8, but he bombed the round of 8. So it's like, what does that mean? Like, he made it, but he didn't really do good once he made it there. So it's like, that's why I kind of just put makes playoffs on points. Yes, he did win 3 races. Again, it's like, do I put him and Brad, like, do I put them into this wins multiple races deep playoff run category? I feel like I do. I'm going to move them there for now, actually, because I feel like again, this is where kind of some theory comes in. I just feel like RFK is just going to keep climbing and keep going up. So, I don't know. 18. Oh yeah, there is no 18 because they got rid of that. Truex. Oh god. So Truex is someone else I predict that's going to be washed. I don't see him making a deep playoff run. However, he's still going to be good enough to make playoffs. Well, I know. Well, okay, hold on. Evidence. Evidence. And this is a guy that has made so many Final Fours. This is a guy that made the round of 8 last year. Got somewhat close to making it to the Final Four, but his performance and just kind of the 19 team, they've been hard to rely on the last few years, to where I feel like this is the year that when have they ever not made the round of 8? Besides when that year they didn't make the playoffs in 2022. Because in 2020 they made it to like the round of 8. And then in 2021, they made it to the Final Four. All right. All right. Evidence shows they make deep playoff runs. Evidence shows they make deep playoff runs. Despite what I predict, evidence shows the 19 team makes deep playoff runs. So I do have to give them that. And that makes me want to move the RFK cars back down because it's not balanced, but I'm just going to just ignore it and get over it. Who's next? Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell has made the last 2 championship 4s. You could argue that he's a championship contender. I don't. The reason I don't is because both those championship races, and that's the weird thing. How do you even define what a championship contender is in NASCAR? I'm still trying to figure that out. Every year we learn what a champion is in NASCAR. Every single year. We learned how a champion can look with Ryan Blaney. We learned how it can look with Kyle Larson. We learned how it looked with Kyle Busch in 2015. And they don't look anything like how Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt won their championships, right? Christopher Bell, I don't see him. They get to the championship race and they don't have that killer vibe. They don't do it. They just can't go to that championship race and perform twice. So if anything, there's evidence against him being a championship contender, right? It's just, but he's definitely going to make a deep playoff run, right? So I put the 20 back. I put the 20 kind of in the second tier, this yellow tier. Harrison Burton, you're not winning. Love Harrison to death. I really do, but God, he sucks. Or the 21 team sucks, but it's a Penske car, so it's like, what's going on? I don't know. Harrison's got a lot of pressure on him this year, and I hope he can win a wild card race. I hope it's Atlanta. I hope it's Daytona. I hope it's maybe a short track. I don't know, but right now it's not looking good. Logano's a weird one. Logano's almost a case like Truex, right? Logano's a case where it's like it's hard to rely on him because some years he's literally just like he's just tanking, like he just doesn't really perform how we expect him at all. But you know, it's an even number year and he's gonna make the Final Four, I think. And again, I mean, he just won the championship. Like, if you ignore last year, he just won the championship. You put him in the championship contender. Again, different ways people win championships. Team Penske wins championships in different ways than how we kind of expect. So I can't count the 22 team out yet. So they're our fifth kind of championship contender on our tier list. Bubba's a fun one to rank because at any moment he could just start winning races. Like, for example, he's definitely making the playoffs on points. I know he got close to making the playoffs on points last year. I think this year he comfortably makes it in on points, I guess. There's little evidence to suggest, though, that he's going to win multiple races. Well, I don't know. He almost won Texas, but that's the thing. It's like you have all these almost and almost and almost, and it's just like, but who cares? Like, almost isn't what's getting wins, right? So that's I don't know. He's kind of like Brad Keselowski, where Brad Keselowski should have won races last year. The difference is Brad Keselowski is a more proven driver, where Bubba is still a little unproven. So I think that's the difference for them, for me. So that's why I'm going to leave Bubba in this makes playoffs on points tier. William Byron. He's a weird one to rank. I think when you consider that he wins, like, he's definitely making a deep playoff run this year, right? Even though I made a bold prediction that he's not going to win a race this year, I mean, that's a little unrealistic, to be honest. He was so fast last year, but with the 19 kind of coming back into more fuller focus for Hendrick, Bowman possibly being faster as well, I feel like it's going to be harder for him to win some races because he'll have more, equally as fast teammates. And, I wasn't very convinced at Phoenix in his championship race. That race came down to, he got passed early and it was basically a Blaney-Larson show, and Byron was just a little bit just slower. And, I mean, I guess, was he still contending for the championship? I mean, by definition, yes, but just because you're in the championship four doesn't mean you're a championship contender. It's weird how I define this, because again, this top tier are guys that I know can win championships, where I don't know if William Byron has that in him. He's very close. Like, if I put him in this tier, he is at the very top of this tier. I'm going to leave him here for now. He's definitely making a deep playoff run this year. I just don't know if he's going to be able to show up to Phoenix really fast, contending and almost winning the championship, And again, that's how NASCAR is weird with their championships like that. But I'm a William Byron fan, and you're wrong. Again, this is hard. It's my opinion. It's just my opinion. It's hard. I'm not sold on him yet. Even with 6 wins last year, I'm just not sold on him because some of those wins just felt like they were given to him, even though that's kind of that's the way you win races. I don't know. I'll have to look at Byron again. I might move him up. Who's in the 31 this year? Daniel Hemrick. This is Mr. Does Not Win. Mr. Does Not Win is Daniel Hemrick. I mean, unlikely to win. And Colleague has just not been showing me anything either. So it's like, heck, Colleague's only hope literally was AJ Allmendinger, and that's not happening. I mean, he's not going to be, well, he might win races, but it won't be for a championship, so it doesn't really matter right now. So I'm going to put Hemrick there. I can't put him any higher. 34, Michael McDowell. I almost want to put him, can make playoffs on points. He's definitely at least, he can win wildcard races. He's done it. He's won the Daytona 500. He's won, he won it IMS last year. I think with the 34. I don't know where exactly I put this guy, because he made the playoffs on points last year, didn't he? Or he was really close. I I don't know. I guess you put him here because that's where the 34 team has consistently been. But certainly, though, no proof that he can make a deep playoff run. He can't go higher than that. So I'll leave him. Makes playoffs on points. I think I feel comfortable putting him there, even though it's only been 1 year of him doing that. I'll leave him there for now. I'll look. His teammate, Todd Gilliland, unfortunately, is just unlikely to win. I mean, he's never really gotten close. Ever. You know, I mean, if you've never gotten close to winning, how can I put you in can win a wildcard race? So you go to the bottom tier. Sorry, friend. Love him, but can't put him any higher. Ryan Preece, I was talking about him earlier. Do I put him in can win a wildcard race, or do I put him in unlikely to win? Because he's pretty good at these short tracks, man. He's a heck of a race car driver. I'll put him there. I'll put him in can win a wildcard race. I'll put him there for now. I have to think about it though. John Hunter Nemechek, he's not a rookie. And Legacy's a bit unproven with Toyota. So where I kind of just put him in unlikely to win. Well, can he win a wild card? What wild card? A super speedway? Like, I don't know. I don't see him. I don't see him doing anything like that. Who's next? Eric Jones? Well, Eric Jones is weird. I mean, obviously he can win races, right? He's won in the 43. But can he make the playoffs on points? That's unproven. When was the last time this 43 teams made the playoffs on points? They never did it with Bubba. Did they? No, they didn't. They never did it. I don't even think. Have they made the playoffs with Eric Jones? Because making the playoffs on points also is kind of suggesting that you're going to make the playoffs because duh. So, I don't know. Eric Jones, it's like, ask me again in 3 weeks and I can move him here because I just don't know how that 43 team is going to perform at all. So, I don't even know if he made the class. So I kind of have to, I love Eric Jones. I rate him very highly. I want to put him in mixed playoffs on points, but I can't. I just don't really believe he can. Tyler Reddick's a fun one. He won 2 races last year and he made a deep playoff run. Kind of. He didn't do the best in the round of 8. And Tyler himself has never really. I kind of put him with Bubba actually. I feel like I can't put him in deep playoff run because I don't know. I mean, yes, he did make the round of 8, but that's just 1 year. The year before, that was with a different team though. Like 2311's just still really, still a new team, right? I mean, that was the first time they made the round of 8 in general, and they got kind of close to making the round of 8, did they? Or did they have to win? They kind of did bad at Martinsville. I think I'm fine putting him in makes playoffs on points. I think he'll be very good, very fast, but it's hard to see him making a deep playoff run, to be honest with you. And then, who's next? Ricky Stenhouse? Obviously, Ricky Stenhouse can win a wild card race. But that's all he can do. Well, hey, wait. The 47 team made the playoffs. Almost made the playoffs on points. Once again, almost doesn't cut it. And that was last year, right? And they are, to be honest, they are almost here. But they need to show me more, right? Like, these are teams that I know are going to make the playoffs on points, right? I don't want to put teams there that, like, well, they can. They can. Like, William Byron can probably contend for a championship and win a championship, but I don't want to put him there right now. You know, I need to see more. I'm not convinced. Ty Gibbs, I'm putting him in deep playoff run. Listen. Oh, I skipped Alex Bowman. I'll get him in a minute. But Ty Gibbs, this guy is different. We know Ty Gibbs is different, and he was running so good at the end of last year, and this is where, evidence is important, but screw evidence. I know this kid is fast. I know this kid is going to do great things, and I think he can win multiple races and make a deep playoff run. But he is a sophomore, though. Like, do I move him down to makes playoffs on points? Because while I think he can make the round of 8, I don't know if he can do more than that. I don't know. Like, that's where I kind of want to put him down here for now. Because he is still unproven. And while I definitely think he can and will win races this year, no, I'm going to put him up. I think he's going to win multiple races and make the round of 8. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, that's just kind of how I see it right now. And it's also to the point where I kind of want to move these RFK guys back down. Because Chris Buescher, I do kind of want to move these guys back down because they haven't made a convincing deep playoff run. And I keep bringing up evidence. Like, if anyone, I could maybe keep Brad up there because he's Brad, but I'll keep Brad up there because he's Brad Keselowski. And he has the experience, I think, to actually, like, be able to kind of put it together. So I'll give him the little senior discount. I'll bump him a tier up. Who else? I skipped Alex Bowman. Now Bowman's a question mark because I don't know if he's going to be back like 100% healthy this year to actually like do stuff. So this is where I put him. I think he can make the playoffs on points. I just don't know if he can win a lot of races. Right? I mean, he did in 2021, but that was just 1 year. And really, has he ever made it past the round of what's it called? Has he ever made it past the round of 12? I don't think he has, so I don't think I can put him any higher than that. But if Hendrick has their stuff together, which they probably will, I think he makes the playoffs on points. Who's next? Justin Haley in the 51. Where do I put him? Justin Haley has a great history at super speedways in the Xfinity series. Does that apply to the Cup series though? I'm checking stats right now. He is not even near the top. I think the team has never won a race. You have to put him in unlikely to win. I almost said Justin Haley's never won a Cup race. Little do I know, he has. 2019 Coke 0400, if you don't know. Which most people probably do, but there might be some new fans. There probably are new fans that have no idea Justin Haley's on a race. That's embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing. Yeah, I'll put Justin Haley. Unlikely to win. There's no reason I should think he should win. I like how this spread's forming. I have a lot of drivers in all the tiers. I like this. Anyways, so who's next after the 51? Is it the 71 of Zane Smith? Zane's in the 71, right? And Carson's in the 77. So Zane Smith is unproven, unlikely to win. And I mean, same with Carson. They're rookies. They're rookies with four again, same team. I was about to say a team that's never won. 2019 Coke 0400. But for real, it's like, I hate to put all three Spire guys here, but again, none of them have won. The teams only won a range shortened race. Why should I think that they can win? Right? And I only put you in can win a wildcard race if you're likely to win it, right? BJ McLeod, is BJ McLeod even running full time? I mean, we know where he goes anyways, so I guess I won't rank him. I don't think he's on a charter team. Is what Daniel Suarez the last team then? Because everyone else is part-time. I mean, Daniel Suarez, let's just talk about him before we make any final adjustments. Can he win a wildcard race? Has he won a cup? Yeah, he won Sonoma. And I think that 99 team's pretty fast in general, like at some tracks. So he can win a road course. He was really fast at Indy road course last year too. So he can win a wild card race, but I think the pressure is on, man. I think the pressure is on Daniel. And I don't think that pressure is going to let him make the playoffs on points. Certainly not. So that's where I put him for now. That's where I put him. Can win a wild card race, but I don't see him doing much more than that, to be honest with you. I think he's gonna have to win this year to make the playoffs. I don't think I have him, unless Trackhouse really does pick it up, because I think Ross is gonna be faster, which should, in theory, make Daniel faster, but I just don't really see it. Yeah, and I think that's kind of it. But yeah, that's all 34 full-time drivers in the Cup Series. We have 34 this year. Wow, because the 16 and the 15 are charters, I believe, but they're not. Oh, wait, yeah, you guys, I don't think you guys could see it. The 16 and the 15 are full-time. 78's not a charter anymore. I don't remember if they're full-time. They're kind of irrelevant anyways. Jimmy and SVG, who's not even running the 91 this year. But yeah, this is... Let me look at this one more time. So, again, I don't know. Again, I need to see more from Byron. I mean, deep playoff run. I think, again, a lot of it's based on evidence. A lot of it's based... most of it's based on evidence, right? I let theory kind of take over for Ty Gibbs. I let theory kind of bring Truex down a little bit, I think, because you could argue him up here. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I am with this. And I think this is the general kind of skill level of every single team in the NASCAR Cup Series right now. I would say so. And I don't know if I want to order any of these tiers. Like, if I had to order this top tier, I think it goes... this is funny. I don't know how I order this, though, because it's like... Because, like, Blaney wins championships completely different than how Larson won his championship. So I don't know how you can compare them. Because it's just... NASCAR's championship format is so unique and so different. And I've come to appreciate it, but there's just little... It's hard to even compare them. But I will put Kyle at the front because I like him. Anyways, this is it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's still a bit of a podcasty episode, a little bit longer than a normal YouTube video, but hope you guys enjoyed. And our Patreon subscribers got to see this first over on Patreon. If you are able to, supporting us on Patreon is very, very, very much appreciated. It might let us do some cool things. And yeah. Follow us at Gay Racing Pod everywhere on social media. Follow me at Dreamy Zack Racing. Follow my podcast partner Alex at New Gaiden. Catch new episodes of the Gay Racing Podcast every week, wherever you get your podcasts, including here on YouTube, recapping the races from the race weekend, recapping the latest in motorsports news and tea, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.